Good afternoon as we welcome you into another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. I am the aforementioned Ironhead. This fellow right here to my right is the aforementioned Goon. And, we love to get together every couple of days during the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 to 4, and talk all things sports. Certainly focused a lot on Penn State football, but we'll delve into all kinds of other things over the course of the 2 hours. And we welcome you aboard today. Penn State sitting at 3-0, heading into the bye week. The Nittany Lions then have the first big test of the season when Oregon comes calling. Dear Goon, what are we thinking after the Villanova game this past Saturday? They don't get the shutout, 52-6.
More importantly, they did not get the cover.
And they did not get the cover either.
Scott Van Pelt was all over that. That was like the ultimate bad beat, man.
Yeah, it was rough.
Woo. Hey, we're undefeated. And I think that I said last night on the radio show, the TV show, the player show was we're healthy. That was the ultimate goal to get through there 3-0.
Yep.
Stay healthy. I would have liked to have been sharper in the offense, running the ball at will a little bit more, but we'll get to that. I mean, they're obviously not going to allow us to run the ball 40 times a game down their throats. So most teams that we play. So Oregon will be the first team that will just sit there and play football and say, okay, beat us with what you got. So we'll hope for the run game to be tuned up by then.
They definitely there are some red flags for sure coming through the first 3 weeks of the season. This is kind of much the same thing we were talking about last week. I don't think it's time to panic, but I do think we're now 3 games in. I was kind of hoping maybe Villanova will see what we want to see. And that the first 2 drives, their drive, Villanova's drive, and Penn State's first drive, it's like, all right, this is what we wanted to see, and then kind of went back to some of the problems and some of the red flags we've been seeing. It felt like they came out with a high energy level and a real sense of purpose, and I think those first 2 drives were indicative of that. I also do think I don't think it was a lack of, hey, we're just taking this one for granted. And I'm not sure how much I think that did or didn't happen in those first couple of games. I do think they approached this thing and the fans approached it. If fans were into it, you would have thought it was the whiteout game with the noise level in the stadium at the start. And then, again, it was one of those things, Goon, where it wasn't like you didn't feel like, man, any specific thing is just completely off. It's just the whole thing just seemed a little off, not quite where
Timing
you want it to
there,
be.
Everything wasn't.
And so, so again, I think there is rightfully concern. I think Nicholas Singleton still doesn't look like the running back we were hoping and thinking that he would be this season. Doesn't mean he won't be. Drew Aller doesn't look like the quarterback we were thinking and hoping he would be. Doesn't mean he won't be. The offensive line isn't just absolutely crushing the opposition the way we thought it would. Doesn't mean it can't or won't. But, man, 3 games in, and it's just, again, we're going to find out with Oregon, obviously. I don't think you have an overwhelming feeling of confidence that, yep, boy, this team is definitely headed to where we thought it was at the start of the season. I don't think you're sitting there looking at it saying, nope, no way this will happen. This team, forget about it. This isn't their year. It's just like 3 games in, you're kind of like, maybe. Just not where you were hoping they'd be sitting going into the bye week.
You wanted to be sharp as attack and just absolutely just out there razor blading people and saying, okay, let's go out there and really work on a run game right now. Go out and work on a run game and run's great. All right, let's go out and work on the pass game a little bit. It goes out and works. It's not going to happen like that. You need to work on your time. You need to get work. Everything needs to get together. What was it? Joe Moorhead, remember that offense in 2016 where it was like it just took a little bit for it to catch on? And I know Kotelnicki's been here for a few years here, but our offense has changed. We got new receivers. The offensive line is good. The tight end is the offensive line needs to tighten up a little bit, in my opinion. I mean, that's easy to say, but they are throwing a lot of stuff at these guys. But would we want to be a lot sharper going into a bye week before the biggest game of the season? Yeah, I would have liked that. I mean, anybody would have liked that, but here we are where we're at. Healthy, ready to go.
Yep.
We got 10 days, 12 days off before the game, and let's mentally and physically prepare for Oregon. I mean, I know did I read we're 6-point favorites?
Yeah, and
that surprised the hell out of me. What about you?
No, it doesn't surprise me because of the home field for that one is.
We'll say 3.
I think with that one it's more.
You think this is literally a conversation I had with Carrie this morning.
Yeah,
when I said 6.5, and she said that's a lot. It's because of the whiteout. I said, well, the home games are usually the way the Vegas works. It's 3 points automatically to the home team.
Yep.
So you think the whiteout of the night game adds a little bit more, huh?
I do.
Wow.
And especially, listening to a little bit of the radio coverage, Brian Tripp said that configuration is making it louder in there than it has been in like last season.
You know what?
And
you
so
could be right.
With the whiteout, which is obviously the loudest game of the season anyway, I do think you get the fans all revved up. I'm not sure, I don't know specifically what Vegas is looking at in terms of the home field and the difference. But to me, yeah, it's probably a good 4 points or so. And while I do think Oregon has looked very good and Penn State hasn't looked as sharp, Penn State is the higher ranked team. I think comes into the season expected, and I'm talking about from a national perspective, that it's like people are looking at those two rosters, and it's not that Oregon is infinitely inferior, but I think folks are looking at it and say, well, Penn State has more experience at some key positions, most notably quarterback. They have, the elite coordinators, all of it. And so I think on a neutral field, yeah, my guess is Penn State would be a 2 or 3 point favorite at this stage of the season. And that number feels about right to me going in. It is funny. Talking to some of the fans, some of my friends, we have gone from supremely confident to absolutely no chance. Forget about it.
You got 12 days of waiting for this game. You're like, oh God.
Listen, I don't think they have looked anywhere near as sharp as I thought they would through those first 3 games. But I also do think coaches and players alike knew they were going to win those first 3 games pretty much regardless. And this thing is all pointing toward Oregon being the real start to the season where you got to start taking care of business. So, again, I am concerned. There are some things that I worry. I have no doubt the intensity will be ratcheted up. It's more the execution. I'm not sure you just snap your fingers and, okay, because it's Oregon, now we're going to execute the way we're supposed to. And again, that doesn't mean you can't correct things. Hopefully, week to week, all throughout the season, you're doing that. But I guess just 3 games in, I thought we would see some things corrected and looking a little better than what we have. And I do think it's a concern. Now, that being said, I do think the defense is making enough big-time plays and has enough big-time talent, guys that can be difference makers in those big games, that you feel pretty good about this team being able to hang around against anybody. And really, one of the reasons I do like Penn State's chances in this Oregon game, Goon, is the special teams. I like what we're seeing with the return game. I'm not as enamored with the Steelers return game, oddly enough.
We'll get to that.
But the kickoff and the punt operation, I think, has a real chance to be a difference maker in big games like the one coming up against Oregon.
And I do want to throw this out there, and that is that, all right, we had never played Oregon. At least our players had never played Oregon before. When they joined the Big Ten, man, there's an aura about that Oregon offense. I mean, how fast it is and stuff like that. We hung with them punch for punch last year in that Big Ten title game, to the point where I think our guys were like, crap, I think we could have run that game. We should have won that game. Like, I personally feel as if our players feel that way. So there's not that aura right now that like this is the first time playing Oregon. What do we expect to say? No, I think our guys are going out there with that. We owe them from last year.
Yeah,
a little bit of that. But yes, I wish we were much sharper on the run and pass game and stuff like that. Defensively, come off the ball a little, get a couple more sacks here and there. But I don't have a problem with where we're at right now. But we do need to take that next step. There is that you got to ratchet it up, and it will be ratcheted up. There's no doubt about it. These guys are, I mean, again, you can sleepwalk through those first 3 games. And we were talking about it since last year when this was coming out. Like, hey, get through the first 3 games, get the bye week, and you get ready for Oregon. So, I mean, if we're talking about it all the time, you know that they're thinking about it. They won't admit it.
no.
They're never going to admit it.
Should they?
Nor should they, yeah. But I believe that we're going to be ready for that game. And I think there's a little angst built up for that game last year for not winning that Big Ten title off of them, where I think that our guys felt like we were the better team at that point, and we went in there a little, oh, wow, this is Oregon, what are we expecting here? I guess we felt that way a little bit, but I don't think we're going to have that this year. We're at home, the whiteout. I mean, I know that I talked to a lot of the players during my show. Dude, that whiteout thing is absolutely huge. It is so big and important to these guys. It's crazy. Like, I'm trying to think, wait, what the hell would we have had? What would we say when I was playing homecoming? Oh, it's homecoming. Let's get all jacked up. And then you go out for homecoming, and homecoming back in the 90s was like all the alumni came back and they were like this. And that was the pitter patter you heard for the cheers and stuff like that. We had one big game in my career here. It was the Miami game in 1992 when they bought the speaker system in, and they had. Do you remember? I told you this story when they had the head cheerleader was giving chants on the this like speaker throughout the whole student section.
Yeah,
and he was screaming go 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 go, and we were jumping off sides. Joe was like, please turn that off. So that was the last time we had speakers there for a long time. So the aura and everything that goes on at the whiteout right now, I mean, Oregon is now sitting there going, oh my God, what are we getting ourselves into going up there? So we are the ones who are up here. We have to jump them next week. We have to come out sharp as attack because they're going to have a little bit of the jitters. That's how I feel. I mean, they're playing in a new place, a night game in the whiteout, which everybody in their world has always talked about Penn State whiteout, Penn State whiteout, Penn State whiteout. Their eyes are going to be a little like looking around. So we need to jump on them quick. And the way you do that is a good running game, and sharp passing.
Or a big play
or special teams and big and then and by the way, I had to make a on the players show. So I made a decision a couple weeks ago that we're going to call the 236 plus club. We don't want one of those like skill guys out there. We just want the linemen, tight ends, and linebackers. I don't want no kickers. But then I find out our kicker's 290 pounds.
Yeah, how about
and I got to make that. I got to say, hey, yes, you're invited.
I think that is more than
I don't remember. I do not recall seeing a guy that big. I mean, I've seen quarterbacks, Jared Lorenzon, the hefty lefty playing quarterback at 300 pounds, but we got a kicker / punter. What's he, a punter who does the kickoffs? Is that what he is?
He can do it all. Yeah. Julius. I mean, we're getting a reputation for the big boy.
You got big boy kickers. You come to Penn State, baby.
Game. But
sorry.
Yeah. Again, we're going to find out. With Oregon and all of this stuff that we're talking about now will be looked at as nonsense and silly to worry about if they go out and get the win over Oregon. And if they lose the game to Oregon, then suddenly the chorus is going to grow very loudly. But as we've been saying since before last season, we're in a different world. And the truth is a loss to Oregon, devastating in the moment. And it will I think this is a critical game for the team and the fans. Not necessarily for the playoff chances, but I think you talk about pressure getting ratcheted up on the local front. A loss here in the whiteout game would be devastating again. Could they go on and win the national title? Yep. I mean, that is within the realm of possibility. I think it is going to be really hard to see in the moment. And truthfully, the reality is, again, could they do it? Yes. Doesn't render the season over by any stretch. But it is hard to envision the scenario where you lose the whiteout game at home against Oregon and then go on and win the national championship. It just feels like that is an unlikely route to the championship. Whereas, again, you lose a close game at Ohio State, I think that just is going to have a different feel. No matter how close the game is, you lose at home with all of the buildup, all of the expectations, everything we've been talking about. I just think from a confidence standpoint, from a mentality standpoint, it is going to make it a much more difficult task. And obviously winning the national title is a difficult task to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, if they do go out and lose to Oregon, then you're putting a lot of pressure on having to beat Ohio State. Now, is that what you're saying here? Because if you go out,
I just think it's going to feel like this season is
a wash at first because we still have that old school mentality.
Two games that fans are pointing to going into the season,
and we go 1-1 in them, right?
Concerns, and there are now they could still get to the national title game in theory, losing to both Oregon and Ohio State.
But I do want to say, with that in that situation, our non-conference goes back to hurt us big time
for sure.
So this is one of those games that you have to have, otherwise you're putting a super amount of pressure on that Ohio State game.
Well, and a ton of pressure on the others. You cannot stub your toe anywhere else along the way, whether it's at Iowa or Indiana or any of the remaining games. You've got to win all of the games you're supposed to win. And again, I think it would be, hopefully, again, it obviously does not come to this. I do think it is going to be, there will be compelling arguments against Penn State being in the playoffs if they go 10-2, and even if it's a 1-point loss to both Oregon and Ohio State.
That non-conference is going to hurt.
Now, part of it is, let's see how I'm really interested to see this Indiana-Illinois game this week. I mean, let's see how the and others play out. What does Iowa do? Iowa, by the way, is at Rutgers on Friday night, coming off the loss to Iowa State. So, I mean, Iowa it's still a dangerous game for Penn State, but I'm just saying, you're going to get hammered. Right now, outside of Ohio State and Oregon, if Penn State loses any other game, it feels like that is going to be a playoff costing defeat, because it does not look like anybody else on that schedule. And again, Indiana, maybe we'll see again. Curious to see what happens.
The Sycamores learned the hard way.
And Illinois this week. But it doesn't feel right now like there's any other win that's going to be
a marquee.
What I would call a real, not even, certainly not a marquee, but even a quality win where the playoff committee is going to say, that's not a national title contender, but boy, that was a good win. Again, maybe Indiana.
If Indiana keeps going.
Maybe Iowa, as we're looking at it right now, but maybe
Iowa losing to Iowa State took a little mojo from them.
For sure.
And there's not really anything else on there. Sparty, UCLA, Northwestern.
You don't think UCLA would be looked at as a quality win?
Oh, man, Jeffrey, man. I watched that game the other night. I was sitting there, and I'm like, these guys, first of all, they're playing in front of about 10,000 people at the Rose Bowl. That was unbelievable. I am like, what is going on here? And that's just LA is a huge metropolis. You can't get more than 10,000. I mean, there was high school games out there with more people probably. That was embarrassing for the Big Ten. I mean, UCLA had that least, that's that bad of an attendance, man. Now, again, and then you go out and get pummeled by New Mexico State at the same time. I mean, there's no way that coach was going to last out there. No way. Now, we want to talk about that. I mean, you're talking about some jobs that are opening up and guys are getting fired already. I mean, UCLA is a different world. Like, you and I think about college football. We think about coaches that can win with X's and O's and win games and stuff like that. But you know what UCLA is, buddy? It's L.A. It's a different world. I had this conversation years ago when I was in the coaching ranks. You got to have the TV. You got to have that face for TV. You got to be at the front, like the Pete Carroll guy who looks like a movie star type of thing and runs the whole thing like a movie. This is L.A. It is a different freaking world out there than what we are ever accustomed to. So UCLA hire, a lot of it goes into that because I had a conversation. Now, Al is a friend of mine, so I'll say it. Al's a good-looking guy, Mr. Golden. So when Al was at Temple, he was being approached by the UCLA after they got rid of Mora, I believe, and I had a conversation with some people who were talking about that. Al's a good-looking guy. He's good in front of television. He's good so that's an L.A. type of coach, you know. So that could have come in. I know we're talking about something else, but that's going to come into play when they're looking for their next head coach out there. I'm not saying it's Al Golden or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a weird place out there, and it's going off of how bad it was.
If you're Al Golden, would you take that job if offered?
It is still UCLA. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I know it's a basketball school, but it is still UCLA. You still have a lot of resources, and the new resources. I mean, I know that they went bankrupt and stuff like that, out in the Pac-12, and they got out of the Pac-12, but they're starting to make money in the Big Ten. I don't know. Would you take UCLA as a full time as a job?
I mean, you're clearly the second team in your city.
Well, that's what they don't want. Do they buck up though?
And it's a college. I mean,
it's not a college town.
You're the second fiddle.
Yep.
At the college level in a professional town. I really don't know if the caliber of coach they need would be willing, not maybe throw enough money at it, but I'm not sure that they are willing to do that either because of the likely lack of return on investment. We talk about this. I talk about it a good bit. The Big Ten is really hard to make a significant move up in. I don't know who the coach is that you would say could get UCLA to where it would be competing for a Big Ten title.
I get you.
I think you're looking at it man, we hope we get a coach that can get us to bowl games consistently. Is like more in the line of a Rutgers, and I'm sure that would be devastating for UCLA alum. But honestly, I look at UCLA now more as I'm not even sure they could get to a Minnesota or Wisconsin caliber. And Wisconsin, by the way, does not look like Wisconsin.
No, they don't.
Not the Wisconsin.
But I had this conversation this past week with some of the guys. I mean, I had the 05 guys back and all that. We'll talk about that. But I had a lot of my old teammates back and stuff. We were talking what do they do? Who was coming back and what was I talking about? UCLA, we went to I just completely blacked out right there, bud. What was I saying?
With coaches and trying to make a move up in the conference.
Oh, in the conference and stuff like that. Well, Indiana was the one that people were like, well, what about Indiana? What about Indiana? And they bring him, they got him from JMU, but that guy's a rock star. But is that a guy who goes and takes the UCLA job? But he is taking Indiana from that they were in the doldrums to where they're at right now, which is we are talking about that might be one of our signature games that we have left. With Signetti, that's his name. Jeez, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, so that was brought up, and how a guy like that does UCLA go after a guy like that? Well, who's already in the Big Ten,
and this maybe gives you an idea of how far UCLA has
fallen. Down. Yeah,
I don't
now
think
I'm my point
if they did make the offer to Signetti, I'm really not at all sure that Signetti would look at that as
right.
I got to keep climbing the ladder because of one, what he has established, but also, I mean, Indiana financially has made the move.
Yeah, they've committed.
Is there. So
so I was talking. I'm sorry. It was
but I just don't know that I don't know that I look at that as a clear step up. Which again, let that sink in for a second. That Indiana.
There's two basketball schools, so we'll look at it like that.
Might just be a lateral move, and maybe not even a lateral move at the moment.
But UCLA, I think that they offer for a coach like Signetti, outside of football, it is LA. There's a lot of money out there, sponsorship money. Even get him making money as the head coach of UCLA, doing commercials and stuff like that. So the point I forgot was we were talking about this weekend was Iowa and Wisconsin are very similar. Like they're okay winning 9-10 games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And Wisconsin is just they're just like, hey, whatever. They're okay with that. Get us to a bowl game every once in a while, this and that. I don't think that any of those guys would be on the like no hot seat out of Wisconsin right now. You know what I mean? That's what we were talking about. It was just like they're okay. Minnesota's okay with it. It's like they're okay with like being like second fiddle.
Yeah,
I just can't get over it, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just I don't know if that's a Midwestern thing type of like. Nebraska hasn't been to a bowl game in how many years?
Well, so that's another place I want to go is Nebraska. I would argue maybe one of the more important games for Penn State this season is this Saturday in Lincoln, because that Nebraska-Michigan game, we're talking about this Penn State schedule. And again, I'm looking at this. Obviously, if Penn State goes 12-0, this stuff is moot. Really, if they go 11-1, this stuff is moot. We may see the seeding affected by one spot or not, maybe with the schedule. But if this team goes 10-2, right, you need Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa to be have as impressive a records as they can and have as much clout as they can for Penn State to get some credit for the schedule is playing. Nebraska and Michigan, Goon, to me, is a huge game here from the Penn State perspective of if things do go awry here and Penn State does end up with that 10-2 record, you need this Nebraska game at the end of the year to be important. And the way that game becomes important is Nebraska gets the win at home against a Michigan team that's
who we don't play.
Okay.
Who we don't play.
Correct.
So we got the Nebraska. Nebraska's got to look really good for everybody out there. Say, they beat the 14th ranked Nebraska team in November.
Well, and listen,
so much needed.
We talk about September. Nobody is winning a national title, obviously, in September.
What?
Conceivably, you could lose your opportunity at one if you are bad enough. But more, it is jockeying for position for October and November with most of the contending teams. Right? Very few contending teams are going to lose 2 games in September. And again, with today's world, even if you do, you're still not out of the playoff hunt, depending on how things play out the rest of the way.
Isn't it funny how everything has changed in about a 5-year window?
Yep. So Nebraska, this Nebraska-Michigan game is just fascinating because it is in Lincoln, and we talk again about early perceptions, setting the expectations, resetting expectations. We talked about it before the season began. Nebraska to me is a team that can make a big move up, and it looks like the schedule is poised to allow them to do it. Well, this is one of those key moments in the schedule because a win here over, again, a Michigan team that is not looking like a national title contender.
Still says Michigan on their helmets.
But the thing is, to me, it's partly national perception, and that's going to be important. But even more so to me is the potential here for Nebraska to change the narrative within its own locker room and within its own fan base, where you win this game, and again, suddenly I think they look at themselves, feel about themselves a little differently. We talk about that confidence component. And then, again, if they get that win Saturday in Lincoln, this is the schedule remaining for Nebraska. They are home with Michigan State.
When?
if they beat Michigan, it's just hard to imagine they would then turn around and blow the Capitol. Now, potential
that's happened before.
Yep, that they get carried away with the Michigan win, but certainly they'll be favored with Michigan State, especially if they win the game over Michigan. They're at Maryland. That should be a win. They're at Minnesota. Dangerous game. I think that's a night game. Yeah, that's a night game.
Good call on dangerous game. Good call.
But game that you feel like now you should be winning.
You're beating Michigan's, you should be beating the Minnesotas.
Home with Northwestern, a potentially big game with USC, which is the other school in the Big Ten that I kind of thought had the chance to make the biggest move upward this year in the conference. But again, that one's at Nebraska. If that has the potential to be just a monumental game in the conference, depending on how both teams perform between now and then.
Well, they went out. They might be winners in the top 10 then.
And then they're at UCLA. So if, capital I, capital F, if Nebraska beats Michigan at home Saturday, I would argue that it's likely, Goon, that they come in with one loss or fewer.
That's the rest of their schedule, what you just read out?
Into the Penn State.
They don't play
game.
Iowa?
They do not.
Whoa.
Not before the Penn State game.
Gotcha.
That's always that is their schedule going into the Penn State game. Again, it is after Michigan this week, home with Michigan State, at Maryland, at Minnesota, night game, home with Northwestern, home with USC. If they beat Michigan, again, is it possible they lose 2 or even 3 of those games, even with the Michigan win? Yes, but it seems to me unlikely that they then would lose more than 1 of those remaining games. Whereas I think if they lose to Michigan, all of a sudden, again, do I feel overly confident about them at home with Michigan State? Not really. I think the Minnesota game becomes a more daunting task. USC, again, we got to see how things play out, but certainly that has a chance to be a game where even at home you feel like, wait. And so maybe getting way too ahead of myself and overreacting to this one game. I just feel like this game can really set the stage one way or the other for what Nebraska can or will accomplish the remainder of the season. And from Penn State's perspective, you want Nebraska winning this game, looking good coming into that game at the end of the year, especially if you do stub your toe here against Oregon and or Ohio State, so that is a chance for what will be nationally perceived as a big-time
a good win. A good quality win when it comes down to the picking and stuff like that. So you do have a second loss or just a one loss that comes into play. Good call, Ironhead.
Well, so again, going back to Penn State this past weekend, I had a couple of friends. Man, they got carried away with giving it to Pena on that that end around. I don't have any problem with that because my guess is they are setting some things up with that. Just getting defenses to react. Again, it may not be anything that they even show in the Oregon game. I just think, again, part of what Penn State was doing in this first 3 games is laying the groundwork for building upon the playbook and what they want to do the rest of the season. I don't know exactly what they have off of that, but they're putting that out there for a specific reason or a set of reasons. And
2-point plays too.
Yeah, and I do like Pena. I like from day one. I thought that was the key. I think all 3 of these the transfers are good gets, and I think they fit in well. And again, as we've talked about, give different looks, and I think. While it hasn't been perfect through the first 3 games, that part feels like it is going to be a good component. A little more consistency, catching the ball, maybe a little better job still getting some separation, against some lesser competition. I will say it's a little concerning that we're not seeing some more open spaces for these guys to operate in. The one thing with the passing game, and I really haven't watched the analysis as much this week. We've just had some other things going on. But I thought they might try to really start utilizing the middle of the field a little more against Villanova. And we're still not seeing that with the pass game. Now, is that – nope. We want folks thinking we're focused on the outside. But you're making it harder on Drew, one, right? And that's not – again, you're a senior quarterback. You've got to be making those throws consistently. I get it. But – it does feel like that part of the game has to be a bigger part of Penn State's offense, certainly moving forward in games like Oregon and Ohio State, if Penn State is really going to be competing. You've got to use the entire field.
Remember back in the day when people were always mad at Jay and
like
his passing tree, and the passing tree was all out patterns?
Yep.
That's getting, hopefully not getting to that point, but yes, the middle of the field is where the underbelly of the defense, and that is where it is softest. So, but it's the safest on the outside. So, yeah, I'm with you on a little bit. We need to attack some more down the middle.
Yep.
I mean, tight end play, wide receiver play. I mean, see, we have a lot of guys who need fed.
Yep.
Your tight ends need fed. Your wide receivers need fed because you want them to get the timing down. But you also want to run the ball. You only have so many certain plays to do it. So, we'll see. Going forward, we're going to see in a couple weeks. That'll be a big one in 2 weeks, bud. Huge.
Yeah, and again, they get to sit back and watch, presumably, the Oregon State game this weekend, get a little feel for, obviously, they have a feel and are probably working on things this week, undoubtedly, of what they've seen, but be able to – I do think there's an advantage to being able to sit back and watch your opponent in real time, and then obviously they'll keep breaking down both their tape and Oregon's in preparation. But I think there are some substantial advantages for Penn State going into this Oregon game, and you're just, I guess, hoping for a Penn State fan that they're going to take full advantage of those advantages and allow them to really showcase the environment, what they have with weapons on the offense. There are a couple of things before we take our first break, Goon, and we're overdue. Actually, let's take the break here, and then when we come back, I do want to talk about a couple of positives and the reason I do think this team is going to be in every game, regardless of the opponent this season. And it's not just the defense. There's some things that I think this team is setting up very well for the remainder of the season as well. So we'll take a break here. We are back with much more as we continue. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fall.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox,
Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we're back. I'm trying to stir trouble during the break.
The great Ray Rocky is in
Shame
attendance
on
today.
me.
The great Ray Rocky.
We take anybody we can get listening
True.
to this, this particular show, so we appreciate it.
I'm taking text messages from Rocky saying, throw the tight end of the ball more against Oregon, throw the ball to tight end. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Then I see him walking in, and I said, he set me up.
So how about the tight ends? I mean, we thought that was going to be a strength of the team, and certainly, listen, they have three guys that are really good pass catchers, and I think all three are good blockers, but Khalil Dinkins is a great blocker
Savage.
right now. I don't know if you go back and watch these first three games, it's not just that he is blocking. I mean, he is Tyler Warren-esque in terms of the way he is just crushing people. And again, I get the caliber of competition. I'm not ready to sit here and tell you he's the greatest blocking tight end in college football, but I'm telling you through three games, he has done everything he can do to make a case for himself to be such. He is blocking at an exceptionally high rate and just crushing people.
What was the big
off
fake
of the
punt
line.
last year? What game was that we ran a fake punt? It was a huge play in the game. Later in the year, they're all run together. But Dinkins was in there. He's playing the tight end in that position in the punt team. And, I think Landon was trying to break it down. And I'm like, dude, you're not catching on to it. Dinkins has his guy so far downfield, it wasn't even on screen. And when they go to the tackle, you see Dinkins on top of the guy.
Well,
he blocked the guy 15 yards downfield and then dropped him. And I was like, whoa, man, I learned my lesson that day. I said, this kid is after it. But, when you have a Tyler Warren in front of you, what are you going to do? You better learn how to do other things to get on the field because that kid's a star. But if you know how to block it, you're like, we got to put him out there. Let's get him out there in double tight situations. He's done everything. Everything has been asked of him. Now, again, I go back to this. Are we trying to get these receivers in tune because they're the new guys? Are we trying too much to get these guys involved, being the new guys because they weren't part of the squad last year? We need to bring them in. We need to show, hey, we have wide receivers because last year was rather bad with the wide receiver play, as we all well know. Are we trying too much to try to get the receivers involved and we're forgetting what our bread and butter is, and that's a run game as well as our tight end play.
Yes.
We obviously know Kotelnicki can make plays for tight ends.
Yeah,
I mean,
and listen, I do think that the tight ends are going to be a big part of the Oregon game plan, and need to be both. With the blocking that they've been doing, and the receptions. I mean, they have been a key part, and I think if anything will be even more integral when the Oregon game rolls around. But that part of the offense has been spectacular. And Katron Allen, Goon, I have to tell you, like, that guy is. I think Saturday he had right half the carries. I think it was 20 for Singleton and 10 for Allen. And he is hitting quickly the hole that's there and taking what's there and lowering his shoulder and getting the extra tough yards at the end of the run. I mean, Katron Allen is looking like I thought Katron Allen would look, and it's just some of the other parts of the offense haven't done that. But that is another reason. I do think when it comes down to it, and I know there's not a lot of confidence that, or I don't know why you would have a lot of confidence just based on these first three games if you're just looking at that. I still do have a lot of confidence that it may not be warranted confidence, and I'll grant you again, the evidence right now would be on the side against it. I think when this team needs a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 2, 4th and 2 in the clutch against an Oregon or an Ohio State or a Nebraska or whatever it be down the road, I do think they're going to be able to get it. I think they will find a way to get
and we talk about it all the time, keeping the tread on the tires for these guys and keeping them fresh. Ain't no better way to keep players fresh than have splitting. Like, hey, it's your turn this week or it's my turn this week. It reminds me of my senior year. Stephen Michael Pitts was up this past weekend, and he and Mike Archie split a lot of the carries my senior year in 1995. Kijana was gone, so we had the two mutant fullbacks, and then we had Pitts and Archie. But then they started getting banged up, and that's where Curtis Enos started making his way onto it. But we had the two platoon offense going with those two guys, with Pitsy and Archie back in the day. So it's not uncommon, but you know what? They stay fresh. Yeah, they stay very, very fresh throughout the year. So, and there will be that time when they are needed, and it's like, hey, Katron goes down with a little bit of ankle injury, hip injury, something, and somebody gets nicked up, and then the other one is right there, and it's like, okay, my time, bang, and they're ready to go. Keep them both happy, keep them both hungry. And I believe we've done a very good job of that, of not trying to burn either one of them out or trying to overly just stress, say, we need to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. I think we're doing a heck of a job, not being like that. I think I like the fact that we're trying different things out there. I mean, that's the way you want to do it against these three non-conference opponents is let's work on some stuff out here. Let's get some live opponents out there, see how it works.
There are some things just within college football that I want to get to and just talk about what we're seeing for the first 3 weeks, what we think we know, some unanswered questions out there aside from Penn State. Before that, though, you talked about the 2005 team being back. It was neat to see a number of those players back for the reunion weekend 20 years later.
20 years, man.
Just talk a little bit about it. Obviously, you were close with that team and with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I moved back here in June of 2005, so I got work with these guys in the summertime. And the Hay was in the bar with them and their work ethic and stuff like that. So they had worked really hard throughout the winter, and they had a pretty good season the year before. But they were coming off 4 out of 5 losing seasons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I told somebody the other day, it may have been on the Sunday radio show down in town, and that is that I came into town and like the atmosphere was stale and miserable at Penn State football. The coaches were feeling a lot of pressure. I know Joe was feeling a lot of pressure.
Yep.
I know our strength coaches were feeling a lot of pressure. So what do? You just put your head down and you go to work. You go to work. You go to work. And that it's. I believe that I brought a little bit of difference into the game when I got here, and that is, hey, you can still have fun, but you got to work. When it's time to work, you work, but you can still have fun doing that. And I loosened the weight room up a little bit, and a lot of the guys will tell you that it was like there was a horrible, miserable place to go back in the day, but then it was time to work. We got in there, but I worked with the O-line with Ornberger, Shipley, but they were young kids. You had Tyler Reed, Drew Richardson, Easy Smith, Levi Brown, Robert Price, Lance Antolich. So you had all these guys that were older guys, and they were ready to go. I mean, they were a proven team. They were very, very well led, and I said that from as soon as I got there. Like Paul Leslie was a captain, but I think he was a captain just on paper because offense was Michael Robinson and defense was Alan Zamitis, and they ran the show. They absolutely ran that locker room. Ran what was going on. If there was an issue with the team, they took care of it right away. So that team right there, they were those two are near and dear to my heart because of how good of leaders they were of this team.
Yep.
You had Michael Robinson come back. It was his first year of not having platooning and stuff like that. He goes out there. He has a hell of a year. Wins the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Tony Hunt playing running back. Austin Scott behind him. Rodney Kinlaw. They all came up big when they needed to come up big. And that was the introduction of the freshman class of Derek Williams and Jordan Norwood and Justin King, Lydell Sargent, and Deion Butler. I mean, there's 5 guys right there who are well-known guys all coming in the same class into wide receiver defensive back position. So it's crazy to me to think about that was a freshman class that came in there. So that was a great job by the old man getting out and getting down as those guys. But defensively, I mean, think about this. You got Tom Bahali on one end, you got Tim Shaw on the other, and Tim Shaw, God, I mean, with what's going on with him with the ALS, and then he's wheelchair bound and all that stuff right now. But Tim Shaw deserves so much credit for him that year and saying, you know what, yeah, that's fine. I'll play defensive end because Connor Leslie, Sean Lee, Josh Hull, they got linebacker spots, man.
Yeah,
like we're loaded at that position. And Tim drops down and plays defensive end. So he's hawking on the other side of me. Matt Blue Rice, God rest his soul. He is a deceased individual from that team. Some brain cancer.
One of the
talented,
most talented and just genuinely nice guys. That's
a huge, scary looking dude who was. He had a heart of gold, man. A gentle giant is the easiest way to explain him. From the very, very tough streets of Baltimore.
Yeah.
And just a good kid. You had Tombo on the one side, and obviously he was the star. He was the first-round pick for the Chiefs. But you got Paxton on the inside, Jay Alford on the inside. You got some 2 good guys. That's 5 of them all went to the NFL. The whole front 7 played in the NFL.
Yeah.
That defense was loaded. Calvin Lowry, Alan Zamitis, Flip playing out on corner, Paul Cronin playing out safety for us, So that defense was absolutely special. The offense was special. You've heard me say this before on this show. I have always said it, and Tony Hunt's got a little dear spot in my heart because I have always said that he was the best 5 all-around running back I've ever seen at Penn State. All around. Blocking, passing, catching, running the ball, running for speed and stuff like that. His thing, he didn't have the huge breakaway speed. That's what he didn't have. But, hell, he could block. He enjoyed it. Yeah. He enjoyed catching passes out of the backfield. He enjoyed running the ball. He was the most well-rounded running back I saw ever in my time here. He wasn't just a runner. He wasn't just a catcher. He wasn't just a blocker. He could do it all.
Yeah.
And then you had, the Joe's attitude. I told Landon on Sunday about Joe when the Big Ten came in with who was the Graham Spanier, Tim Curley, and then the Big Ten guy.
Jim Delaney.
Jim Delaney. He came in there, but then Joe was like, he had a story. He's like, yeah, there's these 2 right here talking to Curley and Spanier. They were out at my house last year trying to take my job, and here they are giving me a trophy at a Orange Bowl welcome, an Orange Bowl visit. So, that team was destined, and people don't realize this, and they're like, well, we'd play for a national title if they didn't give 2 seconds to Michigan. I said, no, we wouldn't have not have. We were not going to play in the national title game that year because Texas was undefeated, and so was USC, and they were ranked ahead of Penn State. There was no way we were going to jump either one of them. Isn't that crazy? Why does that happen to us all the freaking time? Why? Like Paxton was like, well, I would at least have. He goes, and then the other thing that Paxton told me, me and Paxton have a great relationship, and he says, my dream was always to play in the Rose Bowl. The year we're supposed to play in the Rose Bowl and win the Big Ten, that's where the national title is, and they didn't have the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So we had to play in the Orange Bowl, which is not a slap in the face at all. But if you go to the Big Ten, you want to play in the Rose Bowl, and there's your opportunity. You go and win. And Paxton had 3 out of 5 losing seasons. The 2 seasons he goes to bowl games, he wanted to go to the Rose Bowl, and they don't. And then that night,
I think the memory of that Orange Bowl probably helps offset that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty remarkable game.
It was. You know what? It also has a little soft spot in my heart because my father was down there with my older brother Buck. Buck living in Miami. He lives in Miami. Fort Lauderdale, lived there at that point. But my father's now deceased. But that was the last game. And my dad said, "You know what? I think it's my last game. I'm never going to go to." It was tough getting around. And I said, "Well, hell, saw a good one."
Not too shabby.
And I did say, I said, "Well, Moon," I said, "you did see a game coached by 2 men who were in your house having dinner at one point in their lives." So Bowden recruited my brother and myself to go to Florida State. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but it does not surprise me.
I was telling a story the other day. My visit to Florida State was December 1st, 1990. It was the Florida State versus Florida game at Florida State. So you're talking about a rivalry game, and you're going down there. I'm going down as a 18-year-old knucklehead. I go down there. My parents are like, "Hey, we can't afford to come down." So this is the days when you can't bring your family down for money wise, but that's changed obviously. So I flew down there on my own. And the story I tell is it's awesome. Like they took us out Friday night. It was like the graduate assistants took us out. So it was like official visits. And you're like, "Hey, I want filet mignon, 40-ounce filet mignon in front of you, lobsters, this shot." And you don't want to be too much of a jerk, but
you also
I'm not lying to you. I had alligator every way you could cook alligator that weekend, every way, and it was great. I loved it. So by Florida State, I'm out there Friday night. Then Saturday, they did the Friday. They did the academic thing was over in like 40 minutes, and then it was like, "Hey, let's go to dinner and party time here, boys." I was like, "All right, let's go." So I do have to say this, that they had a lot of guys in town for the game as like unofficial visits.
Yeah,
there was 5 guys on our official visit. I know 3 of them. Eric Clare was my college roommate for 5 years, and another guy who is now the Michigan O-line coach for the last few years. He's been all around, but he got hurt playing for Florida State. Greg Fry was his name. But we're on our official visit. It's just funny how it happens. The reason I remember his name because he visited Syracuse the same weekend I did, and I hit him in the face with a snowball. And he's like, "Hey, he didn't know what the hell." He threw a snowball at me. I was like, No. I drilled him. He's like, "That hurts, dude." I'm like, "Well, there you go. Now you know how it feels to get hit by a snowball." So, but I do got to tell the story. I go and visit. I'm on my official visit. There's 5 of us. They have us on the field, and the fans are going, "We want you. We want you." And you're like, "Holy Jesus." And these people are doing the tomahawk chant, screaming at you. You're walking up the steps, going into your seats, and they're all like, "We want you. Come on. Come to Florida State." So an hour before the game, I'm sitting in. They wheel me, and they bring me into Bobby's office. Again, my parents are not with me, so they're bringing all the kids on the official visit. So, in the background, you see the balls getting kicked around. You see the stadium filling up a little bit. This big old leather chair, the big old back spins around. There's Bobby Bowden about 5 feet from me. "Heath, we need some of you big old Northern boys to come down here and play football at Florida State." And that's exactly how he said it. And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Jesus, that's Bobby Bowden." I was like, "Dude," and I was like, I knew my parents would kill me because I was like, if my parents were there, I'd have signed the paperwork right on the spot, right then and there, man. And that's not a lie. That's how powerful that moment was. Yeah. And then I got my Joe's like, "You want a scholarship? You come in here. Come on, you let me know you." That was my offer to Penn State. My mom was like, "Good, that's good." Did I ever tell you what my mother said to Joe? Freaking 2 minutes after. This is not even 2 minutes after I got my scholarship. It's my junior year going into my senior year in high school. We have an unofficial weekend up here. They're bringing up the top recruits. So Joe's offering our scholarships and this and that. And then I am not lying to you. My mom and Joe had a great relationship. "We got a scholarship for you, Keith, here. Whenever you want to, you let us know, this and that." And then my mom looked at him and says, "That's great. You got my son a scholarship. But, dude," she said, "Joe, I got to know, are you dyeing your hair?" And I'm telling you right now, me and my dad's jaws were on the floor. Like, did she just say that? And he's like, he loved my mom. Joe and Sue love my mom because, as Sue would say, "You keep him in line, Mary. Keep him in line." He would say, "We're filling our britches." He feels his britches too much. So my mom says to the old man, "Are you dyeing your hair?" And I'm like, dude, there goes my scholarship. I had a scholarship to Penn State for 12 seconds. And she goes and says that, And he starts laughing. He goes, "My mother died 92 years old or something. Didn't have a gray hair in her head. That's where it comes from and this and that." So I was like, okay, we got away with that one. Holy crap. But so Joe, back to 2005. So a lot of the guys came up and we were tailgating, and I'm not too mobile right now. But a lot of the guys came over to the tailgate and saw him. And, me and Carrie, because at the point when, like, AQ, Ornberger, Landolt, Tommy Golars, Brendan Coakley, a lot of these guys, they were training for the other, like Paxson. Like, when this is before people were paying people to go train at different facilities. Yeah. They would have to stay here. Like, when I was here, I had to take a $3,000 loan out from a bank just to live my – would have been my spring semester. So I'm up here training to go to the NFL. I have no financial support whatsoever. I mean, can't ask my mom and dad. They don't have $500 to give me, let alone $3,000 or $4,000, So I took a loan. So a lot of these guys, I knew what they were going through. And Carrie would say, "Hey, you stay here." They would stay here for about a month, and then they would have their training time. Once the senior day was over, they would move on from there. But I mean, we had 5 or 6. Matty Hahn was one of them who stayed at our house. So they were all I call them my little puppies. And all my little puppies came home this weekend. They're all pit bulls now. They're all done being cage fighters now. They're the show ponies. So all of them bringing their kids up and stuff like that. So it was really great to see. And it's good to see those guys because it was their first reunion, I believe. I think 10 years ago was it was a little weird up here at that time. So that was I believe it was their first reunion. My first reunion for the 94 team was 2005. So we did have a 10-year reunion, I believe. But we had to have it in the spring because there were so many guys in the NFL still that they had to move it to the spring just to have it because so more guys could attend it. Yeah. So, but just great kids, good guys. I saw Franny Gainer. I didn't do any of the reunion stuff. So somebody asked me, "Why aren't you going to all that? You were part of that." That's not my team, man. My team was the 94 team. That's their team right there. If you guys want to come see me, and they did. All of them. I did. I saw all of them. I ended up seeing all of them and all that. So that was your time. It was your team. No reason for me to be there.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys did show up. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures.
It was impressive.
I looked at the picture versus our reunion versus their reunion, and they doubled us in size pretty much.
Is that right?
It looked like it. Yeah, but I saw JT. JT came up again. I saw his 2 sons. I have not seen them in years. His sons. I see JT for our reunion last year, but Jeremy Scott, he's back working at Penn State. He was JT's number 1 assistant. Actually, he was the speed guy, so he was co-JT. So good to see all those guys. And
yeah,
great team, hell of a team, man.
A very, very important team.
They said. So I go back. I know we're going to go to break. Good. So I want to go. I go back to when I got there and just said how miserable it was in the building. And I feel as if we lightened it up a little bit in the weight room and made it a little fun and stuff like that. But those guys were destined to do that. They were so well led with Robinson and Zamitis, and that defense was not going to let those guys lose games. I'm sorry, they were not going to let it happen. So. Great team, great guys, and they bought Penn. I mean, much as we give Maudie and then Zordich and McGloin a lot of credit, that 2005 team deserves a lot of credit because that bought Joe back.
No question. I mean, that was a vitally important team.
What was it? 2003 or 4 was the 6-4 game. These guys are all products of that game. Like, wow. That was some bad times, man.
Some lean years for sure, and they brought it back with a fury, no question. All right, we'll take a break here. Get into some other college football storylines from the first part of the season here, first 3 weeks. Also, we'll talk some other sports. We can certainly get into baseball. Pirates are struggling. I know the Brewers are.
Phillies are hungover as hell today from celebrating last night out in L.A. It's just a back-to-back NL East title, but it's all it is.
Oh National League East.
Woo!
Anybody can win the National League East.
A lot of money in that, at least.
That is for sure. And we'll talk some wrestling, oddly enough, on today's show as well. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on a Tuesday afternoon as we are in the bye week here for the Nittany Lions. The all-you-can-eat wing buffet, by the way, Quaker Steak Lube, gets underway right as we go off the air at 4 o'clock. Come on down, enjoy the best wings in the area here at Quaker Steak Lube, and enjoy some great beverages. Check out all of the sports action on the TVs. Great place to come on down and watch college football on the weekends, NFL action. And
it's a pretty good weekend right now for football and college ball. So, but I do want to say real quick, you see me laughing.
There are some baseball teams.
This is true.
That
Well,
you
the
might
Phillies
want to come down and
the
watch.
Phillies are not really, they're not playing for much anymore other than just the home field advantage for the playoffs.
Hey,
No big
Byers
deal.
and Phillies have that in common. Not playing for much the rest of
baby,
the
there you
regular
go.
season.
So you hear me laughing, you hear me smirking offline. So on in the background here. So you said bye week, and I do have to say this every time we have a show during our bye week. So my younger years, we played BYU in 91 and 90, I think. And then, the old schedule cards that you had in your wallet. Remember those things with a picture in the front and the Citizens Bank, people in the back, Commerce Bank. BYU was on there. And then like the fifth week, it said BYE. And I had one of my mom's friends say, I know who BYU is, but who is BYE? And I'm like,
Young East.
And I'm like, God, that's a great question. But it's a bye week. It means we don't play. And she's like, oh, I feel so stupid. I said, that's an honest mistake.
Especially
it says BYU right above it in letters, and then 2 lines down it says BYE. Let's bring up Young East. It was in Chicago where the Mormons tried to settle before they got all shot up. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry about your Pirates, man. Hell of a year. Heck of a year. It was right there.
The swoon is always always seems to be there at the end.
So the good part is that the Phillies play at 10:10 tonight.
Yep.
Skeens pitches at 6:40, so I get a little Skeens.
There you go.
Skeens and Phillies action.
Yeah, Phillies.
I do enjoy watching
the combination of the Phillies getting red hot and the Mets turning ice cold. Certainly, a couple of weeks ago, not at all surprised that Philadelphia would win the National League East, but winning it last night, I did not see coming. It has been quite a run by both the Phillies and the Mets in opposite directions.
Yep.
But a really good win, obviously, because they clinch it, but also obviously a potential foe in the playoffs here in the Dodgers. And, it had a playoff feel to it.
The Phillies
last
win the
night.
World Series or play deep into the World Series. It seems they always got to go through LA. It always does. Always.
Be curious to see how the team comes out tonight. As you said, there may have been a little celebration.
Yeah, that's the thing I always think about. Like you always bet
night.
against the team who had the celebration tonight. If they're wearing snorkel goggles the night before, you may want to bet against them the night after. So let me see what the line is. I mean,
it would have been nice to see the Pirates get a little bit of offense on Roberto Clemente Day. Left the bases loaded and just 4-0 loss to the Cubbies. But listen, what the Phillies are doing with the despite the injury situation, it really is remarkable, Goon. And we talk about depth in football all the time. I dare say the Phillies' depth on the baseball field is showing up in a big way here at the end of the season.
I mean, it really is. I mean,
yeah, and I think it's why I think the Phillies have they have some guys that are doing some really good things that are likely not going to be on the starting roster anyway when the postseason rolls around.
Yeah.
Which to me, if you're the Phillies, you just have a ton of confidence right now because it really is remarkable. If the Phillies and Mets were reversed just in terms of where they're at in the standings, I'm just telling you, people would be like, well, yeah, of course. Look at the Phillies. Look at the injury situation. It's completely understandable, which makes, again, what they are doing to me all the more remarkable. And, I do think getting Bader's a big part of
it is.
that was a really good,
and he's fit in well. I told you before, the best thing I heard about him is that he's the love child of the 1993 Phillies because he's got some Lenny Dykstra, and he's got some Crockett. I mean, he looks like he's got a little pretty boy like a Darren Dalton in him. So he's the love child of the 93. But he has come around big time, and he's turned it on. The biggest thing that I think the Topper's done is Thompson, the manager, and that is that Castellanos was a 162 game player for his whole career. And he got mad as hell when Topper took him out of the game a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
He got mad as hell, and he had a fight with him in the locker room, benched him the next day, and now he's platooning him right now. But you know what? When Castellanos gets up, he makes the most of his at-bats, man. He is busting his ass out there, trying to make it happen out there, taking the extra base. Not that he wasn't a lazy player before.
Yep.
He was just like, he used to make me so mad because I never saw him show emotion when he swings at a slider for the 485th time that they're going to throw him to strike him out, and he doesn't show any emotion. He's just like, whatever, walks to the locker room. You see him actually showing some emotion right now. And then the guy they bought up, Kepler, they bought him in there. The kid Otto, he's doing great. Marsh, they're platooning Marsh, they're platooning Sosa. I mean, Trey Turner's out for a little bit, and they have the Sosa just plug him in at shortstop like there's nothing to it, and they haven't missed a beat. I mean, the team thing is going on big time with them, and it doesn't hurt when Harper is like, when he's zoned in, man, he's an incredible player. And then Schwarber has not stopped the whole season. I mean, he has just been on tune. He usually has a slow July, but he just skipped that slow part of the year and just rocked it through. So I think he's at 53 home runs. I mean, at one point 2 weeks ago, they were sitting there saying there's no way in hell he can get to 50. And hell, they're talking maybe getting to 60 right now if he keeps on. Did you see the home run last night?
I did not see
it. It was about 4 feet off the ground, it seemed like. It was like, there's no way that's going to go. Boom, it's out of the park. It just kept on going up. I mean, just sheer power of that guy. And then I do like watching him run around home run track because he looks like Ted, the movie character, the stuffed animal. He just looks like him out there running around. So, you know what, Jeff? Penn State's a greater place when the Phillies are doing well. I mean, even when the Pirates are doing well. I mean, it's a great place because, like, I'm sitting there on a Tuesday and Wednesday. There's no football. What is a goon to do? There's no football on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tough times.
Well, you know what? When your baseball team's a good baseball team, you watch them.
Yep.
They haven't had that problem in a long time with the Pirates, man. I hope they come back. I hope they do.
I hope they do too. Couple of things. I just turn back to
we gotta get back to fantasy here. I know we haven't heard the horse. I mean, Hollanday hasn't checked in a while. Is he okay?
He's okay.
He's in retirement. He's a retired guy now.
Well, this is his last year. He's still got to finish up.
Okay.
But he, he was up here this week.
All right, so let's talk about it. Where's your fantasy team at, Jeffrey?
They're a very middling team.
So you're 1-1, right? You wouldn't give me the answer, but you're saying middling, so I'm going to think you're 1-1.
Yeah, I think we won the first week, and I know we lost this last week. And we won.
Damn it!
So 1-1.
So I did want to say to you on the air that I have to tell you,
Turtles team is also 1-1.
Is he in the league with you?
No.
Okay.
He's we're in just a fun league.
Cool. Good. Get him into it early. Get him interested in it early. You're watching games. And you're like,
having fun with it.
So I saw, the fantasy bets. Like the loser of the fantasy league has like embarrassing type of things that they have to do. Like the one time last year, I saw the guy had to enter a 50-plus-year-old wrestling tournament and wear the onesie and all that, and just got pummeled out there. So it was great. So the best one I saw this year, and that is that the loser of it's just not a league I know at all. It's just somebody online said he heard of this. I read about it, that they have a group of guys, and the loser, the last guy in the league, has to donate sperm to a sperm clinic and find out in 18 years the information is given to his spawn.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yes, that's hardcore, man.
That is.
So it's not. You have nothing to do with it, but you're going to find out in 18 years who or what your child is. I thought that was fun.
A couple things from the start of the football season. It is kind of funny just how quickly and easily perceptions can change. Notre Dame is 0-2. Notre Dame lost by a field goal to a Miami team that is looking really good at the moment. And by a point to a Texas A&M team that I think is going to be worth keeping an eye on. That that receiver, we'll see. Again, it's very early in the year. I think Texas A&M may end up being a team you want to keep an eye on here for the long haul as well. So they lose their first two games by a total of 4 points, and I'm ready. It's the end of the world at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman. Here is their schedule, the rest of the way.
And they're still ranked, by the way, in the 25.
Yes. And if I was a betting man, I think Notre Dame is still
going to go
10-2 up in the playoffs. They are home with Purdue.
When?
They are at Arkansas.
When? Well, that's a tough one, though.
They're home with Boise State. They're home with North Carolina State. Home with USC. At Boston College, home with Navy, at Pitt, home with Syracuse, at Stanford. There is just enough, having USC, and again, we got to see how this plays out, but being at Arkansas, SEC school, home with Boise State, there's enough clout there in that schedule that I think they'll get some credit if they do run the table, and I'm fully expecting them to run the table. The USC game, to me, at least as we sit here right now, looks like the most dangerous game. But again, they'll be at home for that, and they'll know just how critical a game that is. Now, it could end up being a pretty critical game for USC as well.
Yeah.
But in the moment, right, it feels like USC or that Notre Dame is, oh my gosh, 0-2, and this season could just collapse, and they had these national title aspirations, and it's like, okay, they lost 2 games to 2 teams that at least at this stage of the season, look, I think Miami will be a playoff team.
Yep.
Partly because somebody has to come out of the ACC. And I don't think Clemson is very good. Now, could they turn things around record-wise? Yes. But I don't think Clemson is not – I know we're talking about Penn State, and they haven't looked the way I thought they would, and I think most of us thought they would through the first 3 games, and it's concerning. And I get the schedule very different from Clemson. Clemson, really does not look like a playoff team. To me.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if this
they're
is true or not,
off.
but I saw something, and the way the internet works right now, I did hear there's an emergency meeting of the Board of Trustees for Clemson Tuesday in the afternoon. Now, somebody's like, there's no way they're going to get rid of Dabo Sweeney. There's no way.
In
now,
the
but
world
there's
we're living in. I mean,
well, you're right.
Think absolutely no. I mean, it would be insane. And also, it's like,
but
yeah,
I did hear somebody said, hey, he's the guy who will not take anybody out of the transfer portal. I mean, that's just me and Landon were talking about it last night. We think that James has done a hell of a job with the transfer portal, keeping guys out of it that we want to not be in it, and then bringing in the right guys
at the right position.
Yes. And I still want to say this because Landon said this, and he said, and he still keeps his commitment to his guys that he recruited.
Yep.
Like, hey, you're going to be our guy, and this and that. And if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. Then they got to go out and get somebody. You'll know. But they're not going out and saying, you know what, we can, Nick Dawkins is the center here, but we can replace him with this guy from NC State or Pacoma State or whatever. No, he has respect to Nick Dawkins. It's your job, it's your spot.
So I have seen some stories. It is going to be interesting to see. Speaking of the transfer portal, Virginia Tech, of course, releasing.
We talked about that.
They I think we can fairly say that was not the start the Hokies were expecting this season. So Brent Pry is let go along with Deshaun Foster this past weekend.
Yes.
And interesting enough, it's Old Dominion that beats
Ricky Running.
Yep. And Old Dominion, by the way, might be worth just keeping an eye on. That they are off to a very good start, obviously highlighted by the win. But
listen, I lived down in Virginia. When I lived there, Virginia Tech made a living off the Hampton Roads kids areas. The Hampton Roads area kids.
Yeah.
Michael Vick, his brother, a lot of their star players came from the Eastern Shore of Virginia. And it's an unbelievable area for football. DJ Dozier, Keith Goganis, a lot of guys from Brandon Noble, Chris Schneider from that Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Hampton area. Tech made a living off of those guys. And I think Ricky Ronnie he dried that up, and he said, hey, why are you going to go all the way out to Virginia Tech, which is on the other side of the state in the mountains, when you could be here a half hour from home, 15 minutes from home at Old Dominion? He's got those kids rolling, and they're going to Old Dominion rather than Vol Tech, and it's crazy to think.
Well, and again, one of the things I want to keep an eye on is that Indiana-Illinois game this weekend, because Old Dominion, I think there were some eyebrows raised, including mine, at and I was just double checking the final score on the opener, but Indiana only beat them 27-14. And I think a lot of people, including me, it's like, so Indiana's probably coming back. Well, again, we got to see how everything plays out. I'm not ready to proclaim one way or the other, but I think it's probably pretty likely that actually Old Dominion's is, again, not a playoff caliber team, but
they're on their way up, buddy.
At Indiana to start the season, and now you've got for that program a gigantic win over Virginia Tech because of the recruiting implications, along with just obviously getting a signature victory over a big in-state school. So, I do think it's going to be interesting to see what Old Dominion does the rest of the year. I am fascinated to see who UCLA goes after and who takes the UCLA job. Virginia Tech, I think, is appealing to me, would be more appealing than the UCLA job. But in the era we're living in, I'm not sure what the ceiling is. I don't think the ceiling for Virginia Tech is what it used to be.
Yeah.
I just, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they get the right coach and they're back in there in the national title mix. I think if you can get 8-9 wins with some sort of regularity at Virginia Tech, you're going to be in very good shape.
I had a relationship with Brent when he was here, Mr. Pry, and that's one of the guys he bought down there at Virginia Tech with them. But this has to be said, and that is, you have no idea the ramifications of like a bad coach before. So Fuentes, who was before Brent, he just, I mean, it was the cupboard was bare. There was nothing coming in. There was nothing on the field. It was just a bad situation that Pride took. Now, he had a history there with Frank Beamer, so I think that they tried to bring that back, and it just was not happening. And that stinks because Brett's a good coach. He'll catch on somewhere, maybe not be in the he maybe get a head coach job somewhere else. He's going to go back to being a coordinator for a while and then make his bones again. But he needs to be a little bit better on picking what job he wants. But in the same breath, they came after him at Valtech. But again, what Fuentes left it there at Virginia Tech was just not good. And Pry had to work from the not from the ground up. I mean, he was almost underground, work his way up from there. So it really, and then this dovetails into the UCLA thing. I mean, how far down are they right now? Like, why would somebody want to take that job with how bad they are? And again, what you were saying, what are they willing to do? What does the board of trustees want to do? What does their fan base want to do?
Yeah.
Showing up 6,000 people to a Rose Bowl game on a Friday night game against New Mexico State, I mean, that's embarrassing when there's that little people there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can understand with the expectations and the 0-2 start, and it's Friday night. Like, okay, it's not going to be a full house.
Yeah.
But, my goodness, it's like this is supposed
that's
to be
a big place, too,
college,
but wow.
Yeah, but this is also big-time college football. You need to at least get 50, 60,000 to show up, right? Like, that doesn't seem like –
give tickets away. Like, here's students here, come to the game.
Just to, yes.
Now, I don't know, Jeff, how far is UCLA's campus from there? I don't know.
I don't really know that either.
Is it really an hour some way? Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. You're not going to get the student crowd up there
and their
if that's the case.
Haven't started. I mean, I did read the article. I think
trimester
their classes
stuff
don't start. Yeah, for it might be another week yet.
Wow.
Till their classes start. But as you said,
they've done this for years.
You're in a major
huge metropolis
area. Literally give tickets away just so that you have. It's just such a bad look. You can largely understand. You're in the LA area, pro sports town, USC, a much bigger deal. UCLA off to an 0-2 start, not a marquee game. It's a Friday night. I mean, again, no problem with it not being a sellout or even anything close to it. But there's also, if you're going to be a Big Ten program, you got to have some sort of representation. And the optics of that, right, from a recruiting standpoint, are devastating. And yes, and maybe this, nobody would be willing, but you'd think, man, let's go around, give free tickets to
local schools,
high schools,
and
we'll just come on in and let's have
I'm
some
pretty
fun
sure like high school football is not that big out there. It's not like Friday Night Lights around here or in Texas, right?
Yeah, I don't
crap,
know.
man.
The Friday night thing did not help in any way. But man, that was a bad
look.
Very
I mean,
bad
for the
look.
Big Ten, to look bad too. Not only losing to a
question.
team like New Mexico State, which God forbid they might win, they might be in the playoffs for all I know, but UCLA looked very bad with their attendance out there and they just what they're showing out there. So I mean, then let's talk about this. Oh, then a 30-day window opened up for transfer portals. What does that mean? What, these guys are allowed to transfer right now? I had to ask Tangwell. So a guy can leave right now and go join Penn State, like their star nose tackle could join Penn State. He's like, no, it had to be next semester. And I was like, so then he's just going to pee away a whole semester of school to say he's in the portal?
Well, if you were at UCLA, would you not be willing to?
Well, yeah, I get you.
I mean,
but
if you could come join Penn State potentially.
Well, yeah, but that's not the case. You got to wait till next semester.
Yeah,
but
and I think Virginia Tech. Like, I do think it is. I would say it's likely. It's certainly possible. It's somewhere between probable and likely. I would say that the Penn State will get at least a kid or two here between Virginia Tech and UCLA matriculating.
I can get you, but I'm sitting there
Valley.
saying that now they're like the window's open right now for 30 days. So a kid's got to do the Bo Pabrula thing and say, I got to go. I'm leaving. I'm transferring to Penn State. So next semester. So then what are you doing to do at Virginia Tech or UCLA for the next 4 months? What do you do? Do you stay at school?
Yeah, that is. They've got to get that.
It's horrible.
Yes, they've got to get that part.
And
they being college football,
and how bad
you've got to get that figured out. Where you can't keep putting teams in those spots. And again, you can write this into whatever these contracts look like moving forward. It's got to be written out that, all right, you will stay here, whatever the transfer windows end up being. And they just like pick 2 times in the offseason, boom, boom. This is your opportunity, or between,
but then that's the problem,
between
though.
semesters. And then there has to be some sort of, with the school, if they are paying the players, which they are, there's got to be something written in here where there is a payment return then.
Well, what's the quarterback from UCLA getting?
The investment.
He's the one. What about him? He's sitting there getting his booty kicked in Friday night versus New Mexico State.
They can't open the transfer portal quick enough.
He was the one who had the thing with Tennessee Volunteers. So he watches Tennessee almost beat Georgia Saturday afternoon. And, you're watching this guy Friday night, and, oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, UCLA location better than Virginia Tech.
You been to Valtech?
I don't.
Valtech is so similar to Penn State, it's sick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
it's not
there's a lot.
It's not L.A., though.
No,
but you and I are not L.A. people.
No, and there's also, it's a lot easier to get, like, I guess it depends what you're looking for. Yeah, if you're looking for sunshine and all of that. But listen, you're going to get taxed more, like from a personal standpoint, right?
I guess these kids got to worry about taxes now.
No,
you're right.
The coaches do too.
You're right.
Your taxes.
God
you're
help us.
More likely get lost in the shuffle, even though it is LA. I would argue than you would at Virginia Tech, where you are. Clearly, the head football coach there is the star of the town, a la James Franklin here in Happy Valley. I mean, at UCLA, I don't care who you bring in Deion Sanders. He's still the 4th biggest deal at best, 4th biggest deal, and maybe more like 8th, 9th biggest deal.
You've heard me talk about the Rose Bowl.
In the city.
When the people at the Rose Bowl are like, whoa, who are you guys? We're like, we're Penn State. Like, what are you guys doing here? We're like, we're here to play the Rose Bowl. Oh, you're here for the parade? What?
That's
and
right.
There's so much going on out there that it's like, oh, the UCLA Bruins, they're not USC, right? Okay, yeah, we don't worry about them.
Everybody loves a parade. We'll take a break here and be back with a final segment. It is our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7
The Fox.
State College,
The Goon and Ironhead.
And a few things we need to get into before we wrap things up here for a Tuesday. Again, the all-you-can-eat wing buffet gets underway right at 4 o'clock here at Quaker Steak and Lube. I invite you to come on down and enjoy. And you can even watch some Pirates baseball. If you
6:40
so
games he
inclined.
pitches, and then we get up into the Flyer. I mean, then the Phillies tonight at 10:10. For those sports nuts who have to go, I mean, my wife is having the Dancing with the Stars people over tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so some reason I have a dinner tonight. I don't know.
There
I got to
you
go
go.
out, honey. I can't make it tonight.
Go figure.
The guys are in town, honey. I can't really go watch the Dancing with the Stars. I can't get into it.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
for
it
you.
is. Yeah, it is.
Tough stuff there for
It
you.
is what it is, baby.
Heartbreak.
But there is the buffet.
Penn State Wrestling
It's pretty good.
showing at the and Team USA, good showing at the World Championships. PJ Duke goes 1-1, the freshman Nittany Lion. Levi Haynes, in his first tournament, storms his way to a silver medal finish, losing in the finals 3-2. Kyle Snyder earlier today for the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club wins his 4th world gold. Really good match against the Iranian, and he just really wrestled a very smart tactical bout, did Kyle Snyder today to get back on top. Real Woods got bronze today. The former Stanford and Iowa standout, and also wrestled a great match. Roman Bravo Young, Penn State alum, now wrestling for Mexico, literally 1 second away from winning a bronze medal. Got behind his opponent. Opponent kept his knees off the mat until right as time expired, right after time expired in the second period. And so Roman Bravo Young was that close to getting a bronze medal.
Jeez.
David Carr was finished 5th, also very close to getting the bronze in his bout as well. And again, overall, a very good showing. Trent Hidley, Lewistown native, of course, wrestled at North Carolina State. To me, probably the story of the World Championships from the U.S. perspective. Zahid Valencia, you could argue also, Valencia outscored his opponents 49-0 in his 5 bout victories.
He's a savage, man.
Yeah, storming to the goal. But Trent Hidley, who has been, if not for Penn Staters, this guy would be talked about as one of the all-time legends in the sport. But he makes the world team this year, and he gets down, it was 10-2. And then, I mean, you talk about storming your way back, just takedown after takedown, and you could just see him wear his opponent down. So he takes home gold for the U.S., and pretty special stuff. Team USA finishes second in the team race behind Iran, and the U.S. brings home 3 golds, a silver, and a bronze.
They've been so many tournaments in the last, under 20, the over. I mean, how many?
Yeah. Well, there's still the under, 23 still coming up.
There's still more.
Very good showing for Team USA, the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, and Penn State alums. And again, I get there is a lot of discussion, and I understandably so, on what this lineup, how it's ultimately going to shake out for Penn State in the upcoming season. And I mean, we'll find out together. I do think where they can, the true freshmen will be redshirted. I just think with the lineup that this team could put out there without the freshmen, with the exception of Marcus Blaze, I am anticipating that the rest of this remarkable freshman class will be redshirted. But this team and this program right now, again, just continues to roll. And when you see the performances on the international stage, you see the way these guys interact. Again, it's not just what they're doing on the mat. It's the way they're conducting themselves, the way they are going about the training. It just is beyond special. With Cale Sanderson, Cody Sanderson, and Casey Cunningham have developed. Casey and Cody were out at the World Championships. So,
and Cale's running out Ruminal.
A very good show. Penn State will start its practices. Next officially. I mean, officially.
Is there downtime in wrestling? Holy crap!
In October. And the schedule should be coming out pretty soon. They were just waiting for the. I'm guessing they probably have it or will get it this week. I would think. With the
Vincenzo take a job at Lehigh
portion. He did. Yeah.
And we're wrestling them this year. It said.
Yeah, that is one that will go every year as long as Cale's here. The Penn State Lehigh match will.
Any reason why?
Be continued. Yeah, it's the rivalry in Eastern wrestling, Penn State and Lehigh. So, yeah, again, very good showing. Also, Penn State women's volleyball dropping one spot in the coaches' rankings this week down to number 13. Pitt is up 2 spots to number 5. Those two teams will meet tomorrow night in a big match at Rec Hall. And good opportunity here for Penn State to kind of feel like it's getting back on track, and
they don't have any time off.
That will be a big one.
Like all their matches are like top 15 matches. It's like crap. Holy,
their schedule is just brutal. And again, I think it'll pay dividends as the season unfolds. You know, the Izzy Stark situation obviously impacts them. I certainly wish Izzy all the best and hope everything gets sorted out, and hope she's able to come back and
no, I know she took time off. Did she leave school?
Brilliant career next season. I don't know.
Okay, because if she's still in school, there still is the chance that she might come back, type of thing.
Yeah, I don't think.
Who knows?
Season.
Yeah.
But I think that they've had some time off here before the Pitt match to really work on some things with the revamped roster, if you will, and so certainly revamped starting lineup. I guess not roster as much, but so yeah, I'm curious to see what Penn State looks like in that matchup tomorrow night against a team that I think is right there in the national title mix again this season in Pitt. So we'll see what happens with that one tomorrow night. Also kind of cool to see Isaac Opperman, the state high grad, making some big-time noise for Penn State cross country on the men's side. He's, as a freshman, been the top performer here through the early stages of the season, and staying with or transitioning, if you will, to high school. State College football got a nice win over Cumberland Valley Friday night. They had it was one of my favorite things that I get to see each year. They do a kindergarten race at the high school field right before one of the home games, and it was the Cumberland Valley game this last Friday. So they bring all of the kindergarten students are invited from each of the elementary schools, and they line them up at one end zone, and they run all the way to the other end zone, and
full contact.
It's just a blast to watch those kids running down the field and the fans responding, and just a really cool moment. Obviously, if you're 5 years old and you're getting to get that type of an experience, that's going to be a pretty
got a few elbows flying in there. I mean, we're getting a little aggressive with the runs here.
Memorable opportunity.
How many kids run?
We lost a flip flop. That was the big news. But they came back and got it.
After the race?
Nope.
There you go.
Race. Like, nope, we got to go back.
I'm going to forget that. I better get that now. If I don't get it now, I'm going to forget it. I got to go.
Got to have all of the tread. Just a lot of fun. But State College looked good. I think they'll get some things shored up here as well after that matchup with Cumberland Valley last week. All right, a couple of other things on the college football front, Goon. That Tennessee-Georgia game, did it?
Kickers.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like Tennessee deserved to win it.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And, I mean, again, it's hats off to Georgia and all of that. But
kickers.
It just has to be sickening if you're a Tennessee fan to
be that close and like that.
And you're
sort
at
of
home and with all of the juice. And, again, you felt like not vastly superior, but you just felt like Tennessee was the better team. that particular night anyway. And it's
God,
a very
that
consequential loss.
That would have
for
gone crazy,
Tennessee.
man.
And it kind of assures that Georgia will be right there. One other thing, we're just not seeing a lot of teams. Like Oregon didn't look amazing this past weekend. I had a couple of friends during the Penn State game. Man, it just would be nice to see us look as effective and efficient as Ohio State. This is obviously before Ohio State goes out as the first half it did against Ohio U. My only point being, it is really hard. It's always been hard, but I think maybe even more difficult now than ever to look the way you think you should look all 4 quarters of all 12 games during the course of the season. Different teams are going to be up for you. And again, if you're just a little off, you have a rough week of practice, you have sickness going around the locker room, and we're at that time of the year where I have no idea what Penn State is dealing with, but I can tell you at the elementary school my kiddo's at, we have a ton of illnesses going around right now. And so you get, again, a cold here or there, a key player that's just feeling run down on a given day. And you don't know all of these things, obviously, as fans when you're watching the games. So I just take all of that stuff with a grain of salt when you see teams that you're thinking are superpowers, and it's like challenged more than you think. Now I'm not talking about
Michigan looked like crap against Oklahoma. They didn't look that good at all. They looked like they were not even on the same team. And they go out and drop 63 on some. I mean, I know it's Central Michigan. I get it, but they dropped 63.
Yeah.
What happened in those 6 days? Oklahoma played pretty well. I've got to give Oklahoma some credit for that, I think.
These 2 games this weekend in the Big Ten with Nebraska and Michigan, which I just think is an absolutely fascinating game. And then Illinois, Indiana, because I want to see if Indiana wins this game, and it's at home, by the way. It's in Bloomington, so it's not like it's going to be a monumental upset. But I think if they win this game over an Illinois team that
it's good,
I think pretty much across the board you have the big 3 being looked at as in the Big Ten this year as being Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. And I think
Oregon.
The overwhelming majority of Big Ten folks and national folks, I think, had Illinois then as the next team. Some had Michigan in there as
USC type of thing.
Yeah, not many had USC as the 4th team. Illinois.
Could be.
Oh, could be for sure. Nebraska could be. Indiana could be. But I'm saying in the preseason, it was all Illinois and some Michigan as being that next team.
Illinois is playing well.
Yeah, if Indiana is able to beat this Illinois team, though, I do think it is going to really solidify that it wasn't fluky what Indiana did last year.
That's a good point.
That, this is a team that has arrived, if you will, in the Big Ten. And listen, they win this game, they're right back in playoff contention again. For a second straight season.
Sure.
I think that game, I think it should be a great game. I think it's going to be a real good indicator of where those teams are. I'm expected to be a close game either way. And I think the winner gets a real boost. If Nebraska can beat Michigan, Goon, and I'm rooting for them like crazy. If Nebraska can beat Michigan, I think the table is
so
really
torn,
well
dude.
Set, for the.
I'm torn. I got my buddy's kid at Michigan, and I have to hate Nebraska. Have to.
I understand that,
but I love. My friends are coaches out there, so it's like what's. It is personal. Nebraska is personal, so
I understand.
I don't know. I'm torn, buddy. Very, very torn.
Well, from the Penn State perspective, you clearly have to be rooting for Nebraska.
Yes, we want them to have that mark.
Why, in your right mind, would you root for Michigan?
Correct.
And 2 and 3. Matt Rule, State high grad.
I know,
State,
and the DC's one of my best friends, and Johnny Butler. So.
But also, again, because of the way the schedule is playing out and everything is panning out, Penn State needs that Nebraska game to be as marquee of a matchup as you can, and I think if Nebraska can take care of business here at home, that gives them a real opportunity to.
Well, if 94 says anything, and Nebraska and Michigan are involved, Michigan's going to lose to Colorado when they have all the juice, and then Nebraska's going to beat Colorado, and then we get screwed out of the next title.
There you go.
So here we go. It's all coming back.
By the way, Colorado, good heavens there, Goon.
There's your guy. Oh, he's going to UCLA. Do you think UCLA wants Deion Sanders right now? Do you think that because of what I said, right, Rocky?
I think
they like the pretty boy, the look. That's how LA is different when it comes to that. They want the look.
Yeah. I mean, Deion Sanders
Big
actually
money.
Probably, I mean, would there be a better fit out there right now that would have a chance? Again, the thing.
Take him.
Well, yeah, but the thing with Deion is that, the expectations are, hey, can you get us back over 500? Well, he was able to do that at Colorado. So
and sold a lot of tickets.
I think if that's your, to me, that makes a lot of sense.
They want a big splash. And then the other name I heard, and this one's even crazier, at Valtech. Who are you hearing? Who's the dark horse? Michael Vick. They loved Michael Vick when he was there. So it's like, what's he 1-1 at Portland State, Portland State, something like Plymouth State.
I can't.
Not Plymouth State.
I can't imagine.
Where is he at? Norfolk State. Jeez Louise. He's 1-1, and people are like, oh, well, he might be. Come on, man. This is a high Division I job. He's coaching.
No, and you can't. There's that one I'm not buying.
Oh, it's out there that somebody's like
to UCLA. I can buy.
But you're seeing Deion without his kids. I don't think he cares. I don't think he really has a care in the world out there. In my opinion, like he's not worried about those kids out there. He was barely even at camp. There was guys like the night before the opening game who he had never met that were on the team. I granted the guy was going through some cancer treatments and all this and all that.
I think UCLA would be a wonderful fit.
You just threw that out there, and I had just got done an hour and a half ago saying how UCLA is different. They look for like the face. They want to have the primo face because it's LA, and I wasn't putting Prime together. God help us. Prime in the Big Ten.
Good luck to the Penn State women's volleyball team tomorrow night. We'll be back to talk about that and much more on Thursday's edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Until then, be good and be safe.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.